All right, so ProPublica had a big bombshell story that came out the other day that I want to share with you here. So first of all, let me just point out, apparently Trump sent a cease and desist to ProPublica after he learned that they were going to post this story. They reached out to them for comment. Instead of sending a comment, they sent a cease and desist letter. Now, by the way, cease and desist is nothing but a bully tactic. That's all it is. Because they know they don't have the legal justification or the right to shut down genuine reporting from ProPublica. So it's just like, hey, fuck you, man. Hey, don't do this. We don't like this. It's basically an admission of like, we're trying to hide something. We're trying to hide something. We don't want you to say anything. So he does the bully tactic. They send the cease and desist, and we get this story. Multiple Trump witnesses have received significant financial benefits from his campaign, from his businesses and his campaign. 9 witnesses in the criminal cases against former President Donald Trump have received significant financial benefits, including large raises from his campaign, severance packages, new jobs, and a grant of shares and cash from Trump's media company. Guys, this is not noopsy. This is not a coincidence. This is more stuff than he's given any of his even most loyal workers over the years. We've covered the stories. People get stiffed by him all the time. Casino workers, plumbers, electricians, people, architects who built his golf clubhouse. That story broke the other week. The guy said, I got the half up front. He never gave me the half later, and I couldn't sue him because it would have cost me more money than I would have made if I sued him. He's stiffed so many people. There's been 1,000 reports of people he stiffed and all the specifics and the details. Now you're telling me not only are you treating these people well, you're going above and beyond than you've ever gone with anybody else ever. Gee, I wonder why. The benefits have flowed from Trump's businesses and campaign committees, according to ProPublica analysis of public disclosures, court records, and securities filings. One campaign aide had his average monthly pay double from $26,000 to $53,000. Another employee got a $2 million severance package, barring him from voluntarily cooperating with law enforcement. Wow. And one of the campaign's top officials had her daughter hired onto the campaign staff, where she is now the 4th highest paid employee. These pay increases and other benefits often came at delicate moments in the legal proceedings against Trump. One aide who was given a plum position on the board of Trump's social media company, for example, got the seat after he was subpoenaed, but before he testified. Wow. That's quite a coincidence, isn't it? Significant changes to a staffer's work situation, such as bonus, pay raises, firings, or promotions, can be evidence of a crime if they come outside the normal course of business. Well, that sure does sound like this. To prove witness tampering, prosecutors would need to show that perks or punishments were intended to influence testimony. Now, this is where they run into trouble. Just like with our corruption laws, they're so stupid that they need to be stunningly specific. You need to be like, okay, Senator, I will give you X amount of money if you get that legislation passed and give me a subsidy of X amount of money. Like, they literally need a quid pro quo basically recorded for you to get them on anything. So the way these things usually work, for those of you who don't know, it's sort of like the mafia. There's like a wink and a nod. You don't say the thing, but you kind of say the thing, but you leave it up to interpretation. It's a little bit of a, you know what I'm saying, type moment. And then people act the way you would expect them to act, and then the benefits come. But since there's a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of plausible deniability, you didn't just say the thing, usually they get off, right? And that's what they go on to point out here. They go on to point, Trump and his team probably handle this in the way that you would expect them to handle this, which is the wink and the nod, and hey, we like the job you're doing. We know you. They go on to point this out. There was a different example in a different case where he went on to say to somebody, we know you're loyal and we know you'll do the right thing. And then they gave him either money or it was something, right? They gave him something good. And that's how this usually works. That's how this usually functions. And so they don't know if they can nail him on it, but they do know that the dots are there to connect, right? We all know what happened here. It's not a coincidence. It's, hey, they're basically paying people for loyalty. They're paying people for support. They're paying people to build his narrative, be their witnesses. That's what's happening. Can they prove it in a court of law beyond a reasonable doubt? Probably not, because you need a literal quid pro quo, right? But yet again, add it to the list. Look, the fact of the matter is, he's no longer Teflon. We've seen it. We've already seen it. That's done. He was Teflon back in the Russiagate days when they were going after him over bullshit, trying to impeach him over stuff that wasn't the best stuff to impeach him. That was all. That's why he appeared Teflon. He won in 2016, then he survived all these attempts to go after him. But now, ever since the E. Jean Carroll case, he went down, has to pay $1 quadrillion. Ever since the 78 different kinds of fraud in New York, he went down. He's got to pay $1 quadrillion. And now you got 34 criminal counts he was just convicted on. He's a convicted felon now. I'm sorry, but he's not Teflon anymore. And so now when you see this, you read this and you go, maybe Maybe they could build a case on this too. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. I don't know. But certainly it's one of those like, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes type thing? Because we all know what's going on here is corruption. We all know it's a payoff. But can they actually prove it? I don't know. But certainly this is no different than when we talked about for Trump's inauguration, the predatory payday loan industry gave him $1 million. Then Trump turns around, drops all of the court cases into them, and drops the new regulations that are supposed to go against them. This is an example like that. Sheldon Adelson gave him $100 million on 2 separate occasions. And then he basically handed over Israeli policy to Sheldon Adelson and let him make the decision. So they did the Abraham Accords, and they moved the embassy to Jerusalem, which helped lead to October 7th. Saudi Arabia. Jared Kushner got $2 billion. Trump got tens of millions or hundreds of millions for the Live Golf stuff, among other things. And then, oh, would you look at that? They vetoed that bill to stop us arming them. They didn't even give him a slap on the wrist when he massacred Jamal Khashoggi. Like, we all see it. We could all see it. But he just happens to be one of the more brazen of the politically corrupt. Ironically, as he postures and virtue signals, it pretends like he's going to drain the swamp and he's the non-corrupt one. Imagine this exact same set of facts. Biden in criminal trials, people testifying for him. Then you find out Team Biden has been paying them all off and giving them all sorts of perks for them to be on his side. How would the right react? How would the right react? Yeah, it's a tough one to decode. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.